So we covered last time the Jumla Ismiya, which was the Mubtada and Khabar. Both of them are Ism Marfu or Isman Marfu'ani, two isms that are in the Marfu state or Rafa state. And now we're going to go back to Jumla Fi'liya. Jumla Ismiya is pretty simple. So here, this is Nasab fil Mudari'. So this is, the Mudari' has three different states it can be in. It can be Mudari' Marfu', Mudari' Mansub, or Mudari' Majzoom. And what we're covering today is Nasab and Fi'l Mudari'. I wish they had used, when they came up with the grammatical rules, and we could probably start it again and create our own rules now, as long as the logic is included. But they use the same, some of the same terms for the af'ad and the asma, the verbs or the actions, and the asma, the adjectives and nouns. Those words are rafa and mansub and majroor. I wish they had used separate terms, or not majroor, excuse me. It's rafa and nasab. And so, anyway, so that caused a little bit of confusion. They could have just used different terms to describe those situations. I don't know why they did that. But anyways, so here we have nasbul fi'al mudari', nasbul fi'al mudari', nasbul fi'al mudari'. Nasab is a state that can be used for nouns or verbs, but here we're only talking about fil mudari', the nasab. And amthila, examples. So nasbul fi'ali, the nasab state of the fi'al al-mudari', the present tense verb, the nasab state of the present tense verb. Al-amthila, examples. So uridu an uhsina as-sibaha. I want to improve swimming. That's the first sentence there. And what's happened here is this N right here, which is a harf nasb, this N, it's uridu, I want, or I desire, and to uhsina, improve. In everything we've done, this first verb here, uridu, it has a dhamma because this is marfu'. The fi'l mudari' that you've learned so far, that we've covered so far, is all marfu'. It's fi'l mudari', it's raf'ul fi'l al-mudari'. This one, what we're covering today, is nasab. We have this n before the uhsin. It would have been uhsinu. It would have been uhsinu. However, because of this an over here, it became uhsina. Uhsina. Instead of uhsinu, it's uhsina. And that's what we'll see with all of them moving forward. Arju an ya'tadila al-jaw. I hope, or I wish, an ya'tadila al-jaw. An ya'tadila. So the an ya'tadila is to, I wish that the weather would become moderate. Ya'tadila is to become like moderate or like medium. So here, what we're doing with these ends is we're just connecting two verbs. You can't have verb back to back. They're in general, there may be some one-off cases here or there, but for the most part, we in order to have two verbs, we have to have this, we have to have something in between. We have to have a harf. In this particular, it's a connecting preposition. And in order to do that, in order to connect the two verbs, we have to put this harf in between. And then the second one, if it's an or one of these harf nasab, the second verb will have the fatha on it. In these particular examples, the verbs, they're not, the mudari verbs, they're not, the nasab state does not, it doesn't result in fatha for all the variations of the verb. It's just in these particular examples, and we'll cover all of it today, inshallah. All right, so let's go to the next one. Yusidruni an tazurani, an tazurana. It will make me happy. It makes me happy. Yusidruni an tazurana, for you to visit us. So this would have been tazuruna, but it's tazurana with the fatha because of the same thing we mentioned here. And then here, instead of using an, we have a different actually thing that causes nasab. So the an is basically for connecting the verbs, and then len is something else, which means it's a future no. So len akdiba, I will not lie. La akdibu is I do not lie, and that would have been a dhamma. And len akdiba is I will not lie. Lan yafuza al-kaslan. Lan yafuza al-kaslan. The lazy person will not win. Lan yafuza. Will not. So the len is will not. Will not. And then len adzib al-qitta, and I will not hit the cat. So in all these situations, whether it's len or an, in these particular examples of the nasab mudari, it resulted in the dhamma changing into the fatha. All right, so let's see what else we got in here. All right. Other examples. Okay, so it does have all the examples. All right. So these first ones, 1 through 3, these ones, let me show you the color. I'm just not a fan of that color, actually. That's not a good one either. Purple's a good one. All right, so 1 through 3, those ones are N examples, N. And then 4 through 6 are len, will not, N being a connector, connecting the verbs. Idhan, it means like then. Idhan tuqima indana. Tujibu bidhalika man qala sayazuru. Okay, yeah. So this is the answer of the person. So you respond with that for the person who said Sazur Madinatakum. I will visit your city, and then the answer says is Idan tuqima indana. Then you will stay with us. So if somebody says I will visit your city, then a response can be Idan, then you tuqima indana. So in here all these idan examples, idan is like then. If something happens, and then this is like the response then. All of these also, in these particular examples that they're using, all of them are ending in fatha, the verb that would have otherwise been a dhamma. There's 4 ahruf that do this. It's an, len, ke, idan. That's how I memorized it. Here they're doing an, len, idan, ke. But I was doing it was the way that I had learned it was an, len, إذن كي إذا. Wait, أن لن then أن لن إذن كي. I guess
what is K?
No. K we're going to cover it right now, but basically, no, I learned it N len K either. That's how I did it. It doesn't matter. You just got to remember it. So let's do these other ones right here quick. So tujibu, you answer bidharik. With this, this is referring to this back part right here. Kind of in order, backwards order. It's kind of weird. So you respond to that من قال سأكون أمينا. I will be safe. إذا تربح تجارتك. Oh, I'm sorry. أمينة trustworthy. إذا تربح تجارتك. إذا تربح إذا تجارتك. For the one who says, I will be trustworthy, then tarbaha, your tijaratak, your business will be successful, or it'll win. And then here, this one is قال سأغلق النوافذ. I will close the windows. إذن يفسد الهواء. Then the air will be blocked. All right. And then here, جئت كي أتعلم. I came in order to. So this K is like in order to. And it results in this whole fatha again. It would have been أتعلم, but it's because of this K, it's أتعلم. So the default state we start with the marfu, which is the lamma. And then if we have an idan, K, len, or n, then we'll make it, in these particular verbs, we'd make it a fatha. It's not the same for all the verbs, and we'll cover that. Kharajtu kay atanazzah. I left in order to have like a picnic or go out. Atanazzah. Nuzha is like a I think you guys might even use it like a picnic or go out or whatever. Ata'allamu kay akhdum al-watan. I learn in order to serve my country or serve the country. Akhduma. Like khidma. So that's essentially the gist of it all. Let's see what the qawaid has here. All right. Here we go. The qaida, the rule. ينسب الفعل, the fi'l, a verb, الفعل مضارع. The present tense, yunsab, becomes in the nasab state. Meta sabaqahu, whenever sabaqahu, when it's preceded, ahadul nawasib al-arbah. When one of the four nawasib, or the nasab prepositions, the four prepositions, when it's ever preceded, if the mudari is preceded by these four things, wahiya, those four things are an, lan, idan, kay. They're not in any particular order. Those are just the harf nasab. And so if we look here, let's go here to the Quran real quick. Which one we're using? The Quran corpus. Yeah, we're using this guy. Oh, here we go. No, this is a different one. That is how that's going to Oh yeah, yes, here we go. Here we go. So here we go. Here we go. أيحسب الإنسان أن لن يقدر عليه أحد. Does he think, أيحسب with the insan from here, does he think that no one has power over him? This actually was a bad translation, that no one will have power over him. It should have been, say, no one will. Because this len right here, this makes it will not have power over him. So hold on, let me look at something here. This is actually interesting. This is a good. So this is 90 verse 5. Let's go to Quran Corpus. Because in this translation, 95. And then the morphology graph. No, the dependency graph. That's nothing. Yeah. So this is an interesting example because it has both of them in there. But let me see. That one's all right. Okay, I think this might be over there. This one is on it. Okay, yeah, this is the other one. There might be some other ones we missed, but this one has a few in here. All right. أيحسب الإنسان أن لن نجمع عظامه. أيحسب الإنسان أن لن نجمع عظامه. So here, this len right here makes that a fatha right there. بلى قادرين على أن نسوي بنانا. بلى قادرين, and then here this an and نسوي instead of nusawi. It would have been nusawi, but that particular verb is a little bit different. But regardless, these are kind of like some examples of those things. Oh, you know what? That's right. We missed something in here. It's actually good that we looked at this. So these are the four things. There's a difference of opinion on lam. So the lam, sometimes, some of the grammarians, they say like if there's a lam there, then there's an implied there's an implied n. And so that's what happened over here. Yafshura, yeah. So this one right here, this li yafshura, it's li yafshura, and that becomes a fatha right here because there's like an implied n. That's what some of the grammarians said. And then some of them said, no, the la is the fifth nawasib. It's the fifth nasab harf or afruf nasab. I think it's going to get that. It'll be discussed later on. But, you know, I don't want to make it too complicated. The bottom line is here is that these four things, and then then will result in nasab. And here, these are the different versions. I'm going to just zoom in and use this guy. This table has everything we're going to cover. So let's just so what we've already covered is Madi. Madi is Mabniyan. It doesn't have any of this, it doesn't change. It's just Madi. You're done with Madi, basically. We're done with Madi. Mudari, we're done with the basic Madi. There's other things we have to cover, like, for example, if there's, if it has ahruf illa in different positions within it, that's alif, waw, or ya, that could change the Madi. And then for the Mudari, marfu, that's basically what we've already studied. So we've already done these two. This one's been done, check. This one's been done, check. And now we're doing Mudari mansub, the next one. For all the verbs, ultimately, we will have to do all these things. We'll have to do subjective, mansub, Mudari majzoom, which will be next lesson. Amr, we've already covered. Oh, we've done this one too. So we're done there. And then what we're going to do is, after that, at some point in time, we'll do fi'l majhul, which is passive. And then we'll have to do, we'll have to do everything that we covered in the past. But as long as we know these things, we should be good. So the Mudari mansub, let's just look at these things real quick. So instead of aktubu, it'll be aktuba. Instead of taktubu, it'll be taktuba. Instead of taktubin, it'll be taktubi. So those 5 verbs that end in the noons, taktubun, taktubin, taktubani, yaktubun, yaktuban, these 5, the noon's going to drop. And we'll see this right here. So here it's yaktubu, he writes, yaktuba. Lay yaktuba, he did not write, for example. Taktubu, she writes, len taktuba, she did not write. Yaktubani, they both write, lay yaktuba, they did not write. And so all these ones that have the noons here, the noon drops. Noon is dropping. And then for the other things that don't have the noon, for the most part, it's fatha. So naktubu, we write, len naktuba, we will not write. Taktubun, you plural, you will write, len taktubu. So here, the difference here is the noon drops and we put a little alif there. That's how that's written. And then taktubna doesn't change. The yaktubna, taktubna, they both don't change. They're going to be the same. It's called mabniyan. And then let's see. Oh, they're right here. Okay. We'll do it again. All right. So then over here, yaktubun will become yaktubu with alif. Yaktubna and taktubna, they remain the same. So that's basically it. I'll try to maybe find a different table, but honestly, this is probably, I think this table as a reference is going to be the best table. This link in general, I think is going to be the best link. I haven't found anything better than that. The way they broke out everything, and then they have the grammar and everything, this is like, I think we can even have it play for you. Yeah, so you can even do an audio, you press play and it'll play for you. So this wiki, Wiktionary or whatever for Audible is excellent. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, do you have any questions? Mudari mansub.
I mean, it's really helpful when you put them on a table in the resources section.
Okay. You don't like this table?
No, because you have to scroll up to I prefer it when it has like the pronoun next to it.
All right, let's see. Like, I think we did. So let's look at this. We're talking about something like this, I think. What is this? Oh, that was this thing. And then what was the other one?
Yeah, but something similar to that is very helpful.
All right.
I,
And let's see.
like this one that you made for lesson 9, it would have been nice if you had like an example of like mansub and like all of the things like you can continuously add to it. Because, when I was trying to conjugate the sentences last night, I just couldn't remember, like for example, isim harf, um, isim
You
harf,
want it
like
all in
it,
one document, that's the
yeah,
thing.
it would be nice. Like
Even the
last night,
previous.
yeah. Well, yeah, it would be nice if it was, because even writing down the different tenses and their names, because I'm
Yeah.
still trying to remember what month, mudare and madi and whatever the future tense is. Just like those terms, like maf'ul bihi, al-fa'il, and all of these terms for the different parts of speech, it helps because, that's still new, like the terminology for that.
Yes. So here, this one has all the verb stuff that we've covered so far, right?
No,
I mean,
I didn't see an example of mansub on there, for example.
oh yeah, because we haven't done it till now. Um, so that's why it wasn't in there, because it's like we just covered that today. So what we can do is then I can take, I guess, the same document and then maybe do it.
Like write down like the new words like len, k, and what they mean
Yeah.
right next to
So I
it.
was going to do a different one for that, or find something that exists. But you're saying like let's just put them all together in one document.
Documents. Yeah, just like add to that one document. It was very helpful. Like the present tense and um the past tense documents that you have, like I use those every week still. They have
Yes.
everything on there and I got used to that structure. But maybe I should get used to the wiki structure.
Um, I think yeah, the wiki one basically I think the main difference is it goes horizontally, and the other ones I did, or a lot of these examples are done vertically. But I think it's nice to see them vertically. So I mean, let's not do it. Let's see if there's a decent one in here. See these guys, the thing when I zoom in there, there's tiny. But I mean,
Maybe not necessarily, like at least do like one example,
yeah,
like just one verb conjugated, and then just write the terms that we've studied because um otherwise I'd have to go back and look through the video to review what we talked about.
yeah, of course, no doubt. What about something like this? Man, they use a tough verb on this. Oh, okay, that's because they're going somewhere. They're trying to teach a specific thing. That's why they did it. That would have been a good one otherwise. If not, I'll just let's look at this guy. So this is the problem with these, like when you zoom in, they're like, it's not that clear. That's the problem with this. But something like this, right? So it's like here, this thing's not that clear, but like huwa lan yaktuba, lan yamudda, lan yajru'a, lan yakula, lan yagrua. I'm sorry, yabzua, lan yahya. Oh, I see what they did here. This is actually, it is some good stuff here. We're going to cover these things later on. Mu'tad al-ayn, mu'tad al-lam, latif, very nice. Mudafa, very good. We're going to cover all these things up here at one point in time. Inshallah. This is, well, no, it's not, I didn't even talk about it. All right, so this is the fi'l ta'al asam, mudari salam, and this is yaktuba, yaktuba. So something like this, right? So the difference between this and the wiki is that this one goes vertically. And then it has also the dhamma, like you were saying. So that, I think that'll probably, that's what I'll do maybe. So I'll do that. I'll do this thing, and then maybe I'll do and so what we would say is, let's just go back to this original example. The grammatical explanation of the verb would be, of the sentence, would be this أريد فعل مضارع مرفوع والفاعل ضمير مستتر تقديره أنا. So the أريد is فعل مضارع and the fa'il is ضمير مستتر. And we haven't covered that yet. We're going to cover that in future lessons. I was looking it up actually before at like maybe at like 8:40 or something like that. I was looking up maybe at 8:30. It's in the next book. In the next book, it'll discuss the mayad or the pronouns. I don't know why it's at that particular time, but anyways, the pronoun here on uridu, it's ana. It's implied by this alif.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they describe it in the Arabic language. For the grammarians, that's the dominant way that they do it. They'll say that that this alif is a representation of ana, or that it indicates that there's an ana. Uridu an, and then an is harf nasab. That's all we say. It's just harf nasab. We don't add anything else. And then it would be أحسن is في المضارع منصوب وعلامات نصبه الفتحة المقدرة. This guy right here. This fatha. And then السباحة is, and then أحسن the الفعل ضمير مستتر تقديره أنا. And so here this أحسن, also the fa'il on it, the object, excuse me, is أنا. And the مفعول به سباحة مفعول به منصوب بالفتحة. So this would be سباحة. They didn't write it there, but it would be سباحة. So we don't have to do that now. I think what we just got to do right now is maybe this is what we'll do this week. We'll the homework or whatever will be just getting those fathas, dropping the noon, adding an alif when it's applicable, and just getting that down. And maybe we'll do that for a couple weeks. And next week maybe we'll do some examples from the Quran. And the following week we can do how to do the sentence. Like how would you do the grammar on it? That's typically how they test you, or at least how I was tested when I was overseas. That's what they'll do. They give you a bunch of sentences, and then you just have to go word by word, similar to what happens here, and you say, okay, akala is fi'l madi. This would be fi'l madi mabniyan, for example. الذئب فعل اسم مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة. And so we're not doing all that stuff yet, but we're going to start adding more and more to this. And then the kharuf is maf'ul bihi ism mansub, nasub al-fatha, or whatever you want to say. But this is sufficient. And then what we'll do is we'll do something like this for the and then, like all those things. But for now, I think we need to get these things down. It's not a big jump. It's not a big jump from going from yaktubu to yaktubat. But don't rush it too fast, otherwise it'll get blurry and then things will get mixed together.
So even if it was len or ki or then they all would end the same way. Like,
correct.
Oh, like with the fatha at the end.
That's correct. And like I said, we'll cover this I think in a later lesson, but I don't know, maybe I don't know why it's not mentioned here. but also if there's a lam, just the lam letter by itself before it, the liyaktuba, the yafjura, that's what the example was from Surah Qiyamah, the yafjura amama. The lam connected to the verb like that, and with a kasra on it, the li, the yafjura, the aktuba, the yaktuba. You can have the lam, you can put the lam directly on any of these, anything in this column here. You could put just a little lam right here. And then if that were to happen, it would be the same impact as n. And so some of the grammarians, what they've done is they've said like the lam, it implies an n there, and then that's what result. It's really the n that's making yaktuba. It's not the lam. And then the other grammarians are like, no, it's the lam. It's not the n. It's lam. And so that's kind of how they kind of differed among the philosophy. It doesn't really matter in the end. Both of them result in the same thing. But some of them, they're like, oh, there's an implied n in there. And so like, you know, I think the minority opinion is that it's just the lam directly. I don't know if it matters, but I think that's a minority opinion. If you were to like survey the grammarians, most of the grammarians, they come from Basra and Kufa in Iraq before, back in the days. And one of the most famous, there's some big names out there, As-Sahani, but one of them that they call him the father of the Arabic language, his name's Sibawayh. And Sibawayh, they also have another person that, we don't have any of his works present now, but from the time of Ali radiallahu anhu, there's a person that's been referred to as Abu Aswad al-Duwadi. He's referenced by some of the texts as he is the original person who started writing down these rules. Because the Arabs would just speak just like Hadi speaks, or Zayd, or I, or whoever. Like they just speak. They don't know the rules. They just do it. If it sounds wrong, they're going to correct you. That's how language works. Foreigners and adults who try to learn a language, if they're adult foreigners, adult non-natives, they study grammar. So I study grammar, you study grammar, and these famous grammarians like Sibawayh, he was Persian, and these people, they go in there and they study the logic in there, and then they try to mathematically or calculatively put all the pieces together. But children don't do that. Children don't even have the aptitude to do it, like to understand grammar. All they can do is they can just, you drop them in the language in Mandarin, and they could be a 6-year-old. And even though grammar is very complicated, they'll just sponge it up because they don't think it just happens natively. Nobody knows why this happens. So long story short was that at the time of Sibawayh and As-Sahani and these people, the two main groups of Arabic linguistic groups were Kufa and Basra. And I believe one of them took the position, or a subset of both of them, took the position that this lam will make it mansub, and so it's the 5th letter. And then the other one was like, no, the lam just sneaks in and implied n, and that's what happens. And so they'll say there's 4 ahruf nasab, and the other group will say there's 5. Long story short, but that's basically it. All right, I'll create a thing then.
So what is exactly the English translation of those, the page that you had just before this, the examples? This is, like what is the equivalent in English of this?
So in this particular situation, uridu an usina as-sibaha, I want to, and then here would be 2. Here, that's what it would be. فَأَرْجُو أَنْ يَعْتَدِلَ الْجَوْ. I wish the weather would become mild. And so here, this n is just a connector, because we cannot say أَرْجُو يَعْتَدِلُ. It's أَرْجُو أَنْ يَعْتَدِلَ. If we're having 2 verbs, there has to be something in between. We don't connect verbs back to back in Arabic. That's, I guess, the gist of this for this n. There are some situations where you might, for example, in Surah Yusuf, it says, Allah says, Ya abana inna dhahabna nastabiqu wa وتركنا إن يا بنا إن ذهبنا نستبق. So that in that case situation we have ذهبنا and نستبق. I discussed this actually with one of my Arabic teachers. I was like, wait, because he was like, you can't do that. You can't have two verbs back to back. I was like, well, what about right here, right? And so he was like, so you have some anomalies, but for the most part, we're going to have two verbs back to back. You have to have an N in between. In this particular case, if I translated, it would have been two. In this other number two, I wouldn't really. I'm translated as I wish the weather would be mild. And so I don't know how else you could. I mean, you could. I don't know how else you would translate, but that N right there, all it's doing is connecting those verbs because you can't go directly. Yusiruni, yusiruni, it makes me happy. And tazurani, that you visit us. So the bottom line is, it makes me happy is right here, yusiruni, and tazuruna is you visit us. So then it's like, if I'm going to translate this, let's say it's just my neighbor or something like that, I would say like this number three, it means it makes me happy to visit me. When you visit us, excuse me. So, or it makes me happy that you visit us. I can translate it however to convey the meaning of those words, but in Arabic, I need that N to have these two verbs back to back.
And we could have stuck. And we could have put in K, maybe not idhan.
Well, all right, so let's go. The len is easy. The len is pretty consistently will not.
And it always goes in the front.
Yes. All of these situations of n, k, n, len, k, idhan, and then that la, the lam, not the la, those will always precede the verb. They always come before the word verb. These idhans right here is like then. Idhan tuqima indana. Then stay with us. Then you will stay with us. So if somebody says, Sa'azuru madinatakum, I will visit your city, then you will stay with us. Idhan tuqima indana. And in this other one, Sa'akunu aminan, I will be trustworthy. Idhan tarbaha tijaratak. Then you will be successful, or you will win in your business, or you'll oh, I'm sorry. I translated sorry. Idan tarbaha tijaratuka. Then your business will be profitable.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's here. And then here. Then yes, yasud al-hawa. I'm going to close the windows, and the air is going to be stopped or stop flowing or whatever. And then jituke at'allama. This is like in order to. This is kind of like in order to. Maybe you would even say like to. In order to. Jituke at'allam. I came to learn. Kharajtuke atadassah. I left to have a picnic or go out, have a good time. Ta'allamu kay asuma al-watan. I learn in order to serve the country. You could translate it differently, but in order to is like a generic way that you could use it. But maybe for the sake of like translation, if you're actually doing translational work, you'd find better ways to convey the meaning of that sentence. But to go in kind of like word by word and kind of like logical fashion, that's kind of the gist of it. But maybe like when you're translating, you'd be like, no, this is actually how they would say it in a more common way in America or whatever, right? or this is how they say it in Britain or whatever. There might be better ways to translate it. But if we're going kind of like literal word by word, then it'd be like, I came in order to, and then, but you might say it in a different way, like if you're translating, it's like making.
I don't know why they didn't put, like, for the ninth example, 8 and 9, why they didn't put, like, 7, 8, and 9. Why they didn't just put, like, Azur Madinatkum, and then right, right?
Yeah,
So
that
that
would
it
have made
shows that it's in the middle of the sentence. But now it looks
yeah.
like it's always at the beginning of the sentence.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, this is like, for example, you said this. You said Sakunu Aminatan. It would have been, if it's a female, it would have been Aminatan because it's feminine. And then I would say Idan Tarbaha Tijaratuki. Right? So it's like one person says this, the other person says this. These are like dialogue.
Okay.
Something like that. At least the first two. This other one, I don't know. But all right, I think I'll create like a table or something like that, and then we'll go through this. We're not gonna go too quickly, but what do you want to do about the homeworks then? Do you still want to include past stuff? Maybe like an example of one of each?
But I like how you're putting in one verb
Oh,
and
yes.
asking for past, present, and the command. I think that's helpful.
Okay, so this will be the same then, and then what we're gonna do is, so here it's إعراب فعل الآتي بالماضي والمضارع. I'll put مضارع مرفوع والأمر والمضارع منصوب. That'll be part one. And then part two, I'll have one, it's جملة اسمية, and then one of these like جملة فعلية, فهم الطالب القاعدة or something like that.
Yes, can you make sure that the reference document has all the possible terms that we would need for the conjugation of the sentences? Because that,
Yeah.
like, I used the example that you had last night, the one that you have on the sheet, and I was like, are these the only choices of terms that I could use?
Well, for everything we covered, this should be everything. Is there something missing?
No, I just
Oh,
thought
no,
there
it
might.
doesn't have audit. For example, it doesn't have field audit. Is that what you're meaning?
That was one example. I had to look up how to spell mudare,
Oh,
and
I
then
see what
also,
you're saying.
and
Okay,
then
okay.
like I was like, okay, I forgot what like isim and harf and like fa'al. Um, that's also options, right? That we would possibly
Yeah, so
use.
those, yeah, so Farad and Fad, that's here, and then the ISM is here. And we haven't had anything with how
That's it.
and
Oh, okay. I
yeah.
just thought there might be something. And then I had a question about the noun-based sentence.
Oh, you know what? This is wrong. What the freak happened here? Yeah, this should not say Phil Madi.
Like, really? Yeah, last night I really.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. How did this happen? I thought maybe I didn't update it. Wait, let me see. Maybe I uploaded the wrong one. And I double check those things too. Dad, comment. It's wrong. It's wrong over there too. I'm sorry. Yes. Dad, comment, dude. Can't believe I have that in there.
What
It
was it
should have
supposed
been.
to say?
It should have been. Okay, hold on. What did I do here? Okay, should I do that? Look at my notes here. Well, okay, that's right. All right. It should have been مبتدا اسم مرفوع, and it should have been خبر اسم مرفوع. They both should have been مرفوع اسم مرفوع اسم مرفوع. This should have been مبتدا. Where's مبتدا? And Yeah, let's see what you did here.
Yeah, I think I messed up on the I know I messed up on one because I basically copied what you wrote.
Yeah, it's wrong.
I was like, how is
No,
like the island? How is that a
yes, it shouldn't have been a verb.
fad?
Yeah, Adam Mufid. Yeah, this should have been. Yeah, you even made the comment there. Maybe we could consider that a trick question. Trick question because you had bad data games. Sorry about that. I don't know how I messed that up.
So is it a verb?
No, it's not a verb. It's a noun. So because this is where we did most of the cover. All right, I'll fix that, and then what I'll do is so then you'll want also, so we want a verb-based sentence that includes that does like a mudari, because then you'll have mudari, and that should have every combination. And I need to fix this anyway. It's freaking makes me angry.
Then if you could write down like the new words that we studied, like if you could just put them on there and with like the different colors, that helps. That's very helpful. Like and then they then
Mubtada. This one you can do extra free grammar. This one's not bad though. هو اسم مفعول. All right, yeah, I'll get it. مبتدأ اسم مرفوع. That's not how we write it though, but all right, well, let's fix that then. And then I'll do an example here of the mudari. That should have
for the first time that you introduced al mubtada, for example, can you put in parentheses what that term is, like what it is like in English, or at least like the first time that you introduce it?
Yeah, and then do you want to translate it too? Like in north? We should translate it also.
Well, what, al mubtada?
No, like the words itself, the sentence itself. Knowledge is like.
No, I mean I know what that word I
Okay.
know what it means 'cause it's
All
simple
right. So
enough, but I
we'll
think
just put
the ones I'm struggling with are like the um
the khabar, ism
yeah,
marfu', things
like
like
yeah, even like if like isim and harf,
that.
it kind of those are all new terms for me,
Yes.
maybe the others as well. So I think it helps at least just like the first time that you introduce it.
What about marfu'?
No, no, I think
Okay, mubtada, khabar,
so
things like that.
marfu' is when there's two dhammas at the end of a word, right?
No, marfu' is just, it's a state. And it's in the state for these particular verbs that marfu' ends up being a dhamma. I mean, for these, this noun, for nur in this example, and an, this guy.
So to be honest with you, when I look at these sentences, I was like, okay, I can understand why an-nuru or nur is marfu' because it has a dhamma at the end. But I was like, why does al-ain have, why is that considered marfu'? Oh, okay. So, okay.
The problem is like also probably, I mean, see, the thing is like I typically don't write with tashkil just because it's more work, but I know that like it's important. أكد الذئب الخروف. There we go, بالتشكيل. علم نور علم. Oh yeah, this would be. Not nor, it's nor. When we, if we, yeah, now, you know, أكد الذئب الخروف في المضارع. Yes. All right, now we're good. So I'll upload this now, but I'll modify it first, and then that'll make it lesson 10. Or I'll keep it lesson 9, but I'll have a mudada in there, and then I'll do something similar to like this whole thing, this table. I'll create a table, and maybe I'll just split like some of them is len and some of them is k or then, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
or yeah. Maybe just like one verb conjugated.
yeah, just like this one, right? This column right here. But this is what I'll try to do. Let me think about this, but I'll try to just like this column.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll be these things. And then this, just these three.
Yes, something like that. That would be
Yeah,
nice. And basically you're saying that then K, all of them could be in the second column and
yeah.
the third column would be the same thing. So yeah, that would be nice.
All right, okay. Well, we know
Thank you
original
very
normal.
much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Take care.
Thanks.